problem of rehabilitation is a massive one, and it requires a huge amount of fund to have the projects by which these people can be given employment, education, and other things. The piecemeal efforts about, say, for Mata, Amritanand Mai and Ravi Shankar and others will certainly be helpful in encouraging people to be more on their legs and have some benefit in the short run. But this is not a sort of solution which we can offer to rehabilitate people in such a in an area where there is intense poverty and there is no job and people are suffering there, even dying from hunger and other things. I would suggest that this conference may address both Prime Ministers, the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka and the Government of India, that a joint commission should be set up to look into the sufferings of the people in Jaffna and other areas and suggest concrete efforts whereby both the governments can give financial aid and they can also involve agencies, World Bank and others as I have suggested, and have some long-term measures to rehabilitate these people. It's not such a hard problem that some saints and philosophers go from here and distribute some kambals and some money and others, and the problem is going to be solved. Yes.
It's very delicate and complicated.
I think which is emerging from the discussion is, see, we cannot offer a solution to the problems of Sri Lankan Tamils. They have to, we need to ensure that they are in a position to find a solution for themselves. I think it would be too much of a patronizing kind of an attitude that, okay, we are ready to offer you a solution for your problem. Yeah. And for that, the primary step is to gauge the extent of the problem. And again, we come back to the same issue, that unless and until we have kind of ensured that the Sri Lankan Tamils have complete access to the global public discourse space, and the globally and the access is going to be the key in this regard. And I think probably we need to basically also look at the role of alternative media in this regard. Though it's because the regular media has been, I don't think that there is any independent media which is operating in, especially out of Northern Jaffna. So it would be very difficult to formulate a rehab plan or kind of any kind of relief initiative, because you do not know the extent of the problem. You do not know what kind of things they require. You do not know how many people require that, in which sector they require that. You have a broad idea, but you need specific details for that to make these plans implementable. Like I tell you, for example, otherwise what happens is, like a couple of years back, there was a cyclone called Ayla, I'm just giving an analogy, which ravaged a number of islands in Sundarbans area. So I had gone there to write a couple of stories, and you know what had happened? All the relief organizations, they had sent tons and tons of material, but the one basic thing which was required there was mosquito nets. And nobody had sent that. And they were sending water bottles and all that stuff, and it was like dumped there because there was no need of that. The kind of medicines which were sent, the kind of clothes which were sent, there was no requirement of those kind of clothes. What I am saying is that on the ground level, when you are going to go for the rehab or the relief measures, you first need to have access to get the information so that you can gauge the extent of the problem, and then on the basis of that you formulate a plan. And there has to be continuous channels of information so that once these violations have happened, these things do not happen again. There have to be checks and balances in that regard.
But because we, as Krishnamani was saying, that we have to forget the past. How can you forget the past? If you forget the past, it's going to be repeated again. So, with all permission from you, that past is not to be forgotten, past is to be addressed. Past to be addressed, we have to move forward, no doubt about it. But we have to take care that past is not repeated in future. That is our main concern. That is our main concern.
I have one more point, sir. The sufferings of the Tamils inside Sri Lanka, that is Kandy, Kadigamam, Jaffna, and all these areas. One is emotional and spiritual strength by some of the spiritual leaders. Another thing is also needed. they must feel that there are some people who are ready to protect us from India. From India also, the powerful people must go. Either from the government of India, some important people taking the sufferings of the Tamil people, and from Tamil Nadu, especially Chief Minister. We may not openly tell this as a resolution or say like that, but people responsible here, especially our advocate Mr. Krishnamani said, they must request Jayalalitha to go there and visit all the people wherever the Tamil, especially women. Women are suffering maximum there. They are voiceless. They are not able to even to weep there. That's the problem. So some of the political leaders in India with power, either Jayalalitha or somebody from the central government. The central government is a little soft as far as this issue is concerned. So somebody who can take up this issue vociferously, strongly, and the local people should feel the spiritual leaders are there with us. Not only that, the political leader, social leaders, they are all with us. Like this, common Tamil people inside Sri Lanka, Tamil speaking men, women, young, old, all should feel. The medical help should rush them. All these things, I think, collectively, we have to do it.
Sorry, one very quick point. I think everybody now has come to the nub of the issue, which is that really, this may sound strange coming from a legal background.
Try to place a resolution on the basis of the proceedings. I'm not saying that we can have to immediately accept the resolution. We can take our time to go through it. All of you must have received a copy of that. So, I think what we can do is that we'll just we'll have a resolution session at 6 o'clock. In that we can discuss the final aspects of the resolution. If anybody disagrees or wants to bring in some more points, so that would be wonderful. And I think that it's time to wind up this session.
Yeah, but before that, I want to just add one thing. This draft resolution. This draft resolution was prepared before we started our discussion here. But after the discussion, what I feel is that apart from what has been suggested in the draft resolution, this organization itself, that is Human Rights Defense International, should send a delegation. We can do other things because it may take a long time to move the government and to move other organizations. So we can send a delegation of at least 11 people, something like that, around 11 or 7 or whatever it is.
International
So that we can interact, we can go there, interact with the human rights activists there, even among the single population, singular population, and also see the ground realities and find out what kind of help we can do, what kind of thing we can do. Because as far as development is concerned, even in India, wherever terrorists are concentrated, there is no development in India. You know that in Assam and other areas, wherever terrorists are there, even in Andhra Pradesh, you can't go there, you can't develop. It is in their control. So you can't develop. So there is no point in saying there is no development. There cannot be a development when there is militancy.